All right, let's dive into one of the most famous stories in American history, a tale brought to life by the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. We're talking, of course, about The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
You've probably heard these lines before, right? It's how the whole thing kicks off. Listen, my children, and you shall hear. It's this classic invitation, pulling you right into a story about one single night that, well, would end up changing everything.
So, let's set the scene. The date you need to remember is April 18th, 1775. I mean, the poem itself says that hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year. And yeah, that's for sure. But the story? Oh, the story is still very much alive.
Okay, so the whole mission depended on this really simple but totally brilliant plan. Revere tells his friend, look, I'll be across the river waiting. You stay here. If the British start moving, you climb the tower of the Old North Church and hang a lantern. Just one if they're coming by land, and two if they're coming by sea. Simple as that. One by land, two by sea.
So with the plan in place, Revere gets in his boat and rows silently across the water to the Charlestown shore. And just as he's out there, the moon comes up, and what does he see? This massive British warship, the Somerset, just sitting there. The poem describes it perfectly, like a phantom ship, with its masts looking like prison bars cutting across the moon. It's a seriously spooky sight.
Meanwhile, back in Boston, Revere's friend is walking the streets, just listening, and then he hears it. Exactly what they were afraid of. You know, the sound of soldiers getting ready, the heavy tramp of boots on cobblestone, grenadiers marching down to their boats. It's happening.
So it's go time for the friend. He has to get that signal up. He slips inside the Old North Church and starts this nerve-wracking climb up the old wooden stairs. It's so quiet he can hear the pigeons he startles from their perches. He's moving through all these creepy shadows up a rickety ladder, all the way to the highest window in the whole tower.
And when he gets to the top, he looks out. And for just a second, everything looks peaceful. You know, he can see all the moonlit rooftops, the quiet churchyard down below where the dead are buried. The wind is blowing, and it almost seems to whisper, all is well. But of course, it's not.
Because that calm just gets shattered. He looks out again, and his eyes catch something moving way out on the water. And there it is. A dark line of boats, their reflections making it look kind of like a bridge of boats floating on the water. That's it. They're coming by sea. The route is confirmed.
So now, let's jump back to Paul Revere on the other side of the river. He's all ready to go, just pacing back and forth, patting his horse, checking the saddle. But his eyes, they are absolutely glued to that dark church tower in the distance, just waiting.
And then he sees it, way up high in the pitch-black tower. A little flicker, just this tiny, shaky glimmer of light.
He just stares, probably holding his breath as that little glimmer gets stronger and steadier until it's a real clear gleam of light. Okay, the signal is up.
And then, the moment of truth. A second lamp lights up right next to the first. Two lights. There it is. No more guessing. It's two if by sea. The British are coming, and they're coming by water. Revere doesn't waste a single second. He leaps into the saddle, yanks the reins, and he is gone. The silence of the night is just shattered by his horse's thundering hooves. The poem paints this amazing picture of him, just a shape in the moonlight, a bulk in the dark, a spark flying off the stones as his horse gallops into the night.
And you have to understand, the stakes here are just massive. The poem puts it so well. The fate of a nation was riding that night. That little spark from his horse's hoof, that was about to set the whole country on fire.
So now, he's in a desperate race against the clock. He's got to ride through the entire Middlesex countryside, and his journey is marked by these key stops: Medford, then Lexington, and then on to Concord.
First stop, Medford town. The clock strikes 12 just as he's crossing the bridge, and the sounds of the night are all around him. A rooster crowing, a farmer's dog barking out an alarm as he thunders on through the fog. An hour later, 1 o'clock, he's tearing into Lexington. He can see the moonlight glinting off the weathercock, and the windows of the meeting house, they almost look like they're staring at him with this spooky, spectral glare. It's like the buildings themselves know what's coming at dawn. And by 2 in the morning, he finally makes it to the bridge in Concord. And here, everything seems so peaceful. You can hear sheep, feel the morning breeze. But the poem adds this chilling detail. As he rides by, a man is sleeping soundly in his bed, totally unaware that he's going to be the very first person to fall in the battle at that exact bridge.
But his warning worked. The message got through. So when the British regulars showed up, the local farmers were ready for them, and they fought back hard, firing from behind every fence, every wall, and they actually chased the redcoats all the way back down the lane.
You see, that alarm that Revere sounded, it became more than just a warning on one night. It turned into a cry of defiance and not of fear, and it spread like wildfire to every single village and farm in the area. It's like the message itself took on a life of its own. It became a voice in the darkness, a knock at the door, just a single word that would, as the poem says, echo forevermore.
And the poem ends with this really powerful idea, that this message isn't just stuck in the past, it's carried on the night wind of the past. The idea is that whenever things get dark, whenever there's danger, people will wake up and listen for that message again.
And what will they be listening for? They'll be listening for the hurrying hoofbeats of that steed and the midnight message of Paul Revere.
And that's the story. It's not about grand strategy or politics. It's about one urgent mission, a late-night ride, a signal with a couple of lanterns, and a message that galloped right into the pages of history.